Hi, Angela. So I know we've talked a lot about dad's domestic violence and being placed in foster care, and I know that's really hard on you. Um, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling happy.
Oh, I'm glad you're having a good day. That's awesome. So what I wanted to do today is I had a question for you that I thought of last week, and I just thought today would be a good time to really sit down and talk about it. So one of the things I wanted to ask was if you could wake up tomorrow and everything was perfect and everything was back to the way you wanted it, what would your day look like?
I think if I woke up tomorrow, I would like to see both my parents living together, and being able to get along and not deal with domestic violence. And I would like to see me like with my siblings and like the whole family just back together.
hmm Do you think that any of this has happened? Do you think that we've taken any steps towards that?
Well, I know that my father has gone through like anger management, and I have noticed a difference where he's not as angry towards people. He deals with his problems a little bit better. So I think that the anger management really helped him. And as far as like mom, I know that like she's not using opiates anymore. So I feel like that's going to help the relationship between mom and dad.
hmm
And then overall, like with them doing better, I hope that it will help like the relationship of the whole family.
I think that's awesome, and I'm glad to hear that everybody's doing very well. Um, One of the things I heard you say was talking about how dad's doing better with his domestic violence and how mom's doing better with her treatment as well. Have they worked on the relationship? Are they together? What does that look like?
As of right now, they say that they're not going to be together. They've actually talked about just being co-parents. They realize that as a unit they don't do that well, but
hmm
separately they know that they can parent all their children the same, and
Okay.
that's what they want to work on.
So part of your miracle day was wanting mom and dad together. So how would you feel if they weren't?
I think that, I mean, it would be upsetting at first, and it would make me wonder, like, if whoever I go to live with, like, if I'll be able to see the opposite
hmm
person um, just as much. So I think once I realize that is an option, then maybe I'll be able to live with it.
Okay. Um, and I know another part of your miracle day was you said was going home. Is that
hmm
correct? Do you think we've made any steps towards that?
Um, yeah, I think so. I think there's still a lot that I know personally I need to work on.
hmm
But I do know that I am working on that with my therapist. So hopefully by the time that I do decide to go home, I'll be able to have some skills to help me with
Okay.
that.
So in your miracle day, what would your skills look like that you're able to show and to deal with tough situations or something difficult that's like a redirect or something like that?
My older brother and I don't get along that well, and I feel like we argue a lot. So one of the things I want to work on is just being able to walk away. Like if we disagree on something or if he doesn't want to talk to me, just being able to handle that situation and just walk away from it.
Okay.
Um, and then I know that a lot of times, like I like to nitpick at my other siblings and like do things with them, which I know is not always the best. So hopefully work on that as well.
Well, I think it's important to understand that there's always siblings and we all bicker sometimes. Um, so I hope you understand that that's not something that, has to be perfect all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to have your disputes. But I think, and I've noticed working with you while you've been in foster care, that you've been able to make gains towards having those coping skills and being able to take a redirect and to get along better with your siblings. And I think that's definitely something that you've done that's really well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you have any questions or anything about what we've talked about so far?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So we will go ahead and set up an appointment for next week and we can continue this discussion. And you can always feel free to get